Why don't we just start
with a prayer?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I mean, immediately, if there was anyone watching, they just switched off. No, just a deep breath.
Okay.
Through the nose, you do that?
I did it. Yeah, didn't you hear my nose?
I'm not micromanaging your breath. I can't even stop talking when I'm breathing. Oh, folks. Oh, my dear folks. Oh, dear live stream watching folks, of which there are none currently.
But there will be.
But there will be. And to all future addressees who I am addressing, greetings. It is I, Tom.
And Galen.
We have not gone live in a moment. We were traveling last time. We had a disastrous live, which I'll probably delete because it was virtually useless, but we tried to do it while traveling and it did not go very well. So thank you all for your supportive comments related to our struggles in a different location with a very frisky little dog who just couldn't resist the sight of a bunch of mourning doves gathering right outside the window, which was our only light source for that stream. So we are moving on. It's almost a new year, but it's certainly a new week. I feel refreshed already. Doing a lot of out with the old over here. But before we get out with all of the old, we've still got so much new that we haven't even sniffed. We haven't even sniffed the new.
We should.
We have so much
Sniff
new to sniff.
My darling.
Sniff to the new. So, the purpose of this video, in case you're wondering whether it has one, and you know it must because I'm wearing a fancy fascinator, so there was some thought involved, and we have managed to erect the basics of our streaming situation, including a much brighter light.
Yes.
I'm feeling like glassy-eyed, like Judy Garland.
I am too.
In these bright lights. I'm sure I'll be grateful for it later. But we are going to sniff the 3 perfumes that the lab released as a fundraiser for Transanta. And those are with the Yule 2024 collection. I always try to explain things very clearly at the beginning in case somebody has no idea what we're talking about. And then later, it's just up to you. You just gotta keep running alongside the wagon because it is on fire and we gotta get to the river because that's the only way to get that fire out, you know? So we're off at a gallop. So the other thing we're gonna smell, I know, look, see, he's like trapped in the wagon with me.
What?
Like, there's no time. There's no time. We gotta get to the river.
We have to go.
So just keep whipping those horses.
I have to keep breathing.
Maybe we'll do another deep breath. Anxiety is a hell of a drug. The other thing we're smelling today are the 4 fragrances, from the Carved Wooden Holiday Village series, the ongoing series of Yule fragrances that we have revived freshly for this year with 4 new fragrances. 7 fragrances in total, 7. And we're gonna, 7. And we're just going to do our best to smell perfumes and span time together. So everyone get comfy if you're watching live because we're about to start rambling semi-coherently. It will be exciting when you periodically recognize references to things we are supposed to be talking about, such as perfume oils by Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab.
That's always good.
Or even if you just detect at certain intervals that we're just making like a shocking amount of sense, celebrate those moments because they will not last. So, what was there? Was there anything else? Anything else I needed to say? I said the perfumes. I said my name. You said your name. It is, there are 4 people watching. 4 people watching. Science isn't real anymore. I don't know if you guys heard, but science doesn't matter. Math isn't real. The humanities have been deemed inhumane. So we can just sniff our perfumes and just, that and spread joyous tidings of complete smooth-brained holiday cheer. Give him a smile. Wait, what can I see? Yeah, that's that Galen smile. Disco does that smile. Disco. He doesn't understand English. Um, well,
He knows his name.
if that's the case, I know he does know his name, which is kind
He
of
knows
English.
some English.
He knows some English.
Keywords important to a dog such as him.
He knows more English than some sitting Congress people. So firstly, we're going to talk a moment about Transanta. So we've been sharing about this. You might already know, this might not be news to you, but Transanta is a community organization that invites young, and it's like just a whole range of ages, but young, transgender, non-binary, intersex, what have you, young people to submit wish lists, to create registries online of stuff that they need, that they can't count on getting family support for, whether it's related to their gender or whatever, or just out of necessity. You know, I see in the wish list like a lot of students, a lot of unemployed people who are trying to figure out their situation. The whole idea is for like young people to safely and anonymously submit gift registries of the things that would help them the most, that they might not otherwise be able to provide for themselves or have provided for them. So the best way to look at these, you can go right to Instagram. You could open it in another tab, to Transanta, the Instagram profile, because they share these wish lists and they share them through January. So it's not too late. I think you can even submit one currently still. So they're sharing these wish lists. It's just like a little bit of a story, people introducing themselves. It's very cute. Sometimes they draw artwork. Sometimes the letters are handwritten. You can, and then through the transanta.com website, which is linked in their profile, you can just go buy specific items on the gift registries and help out as many individual people as you want. It's very cute. A lot of the stories are very special and moving. And so the lab created 3 fragrances that are fundraisers that benefit the organization itself. And here's what that does. Do you know about this?
Tell me.
Okay, no, but do you really? No.
Tell me.
Well,
I'm not confirming or denying. Just tell me.
That's very smart because you're on video. There's proof forever. You have plausible deniability. Your Honor, I simply said, tell me. I did not. By supporting the organization itself, what they do is at the end of January, when like all of the shopping has basically ended, they go through with their own coffers and just fulfill as many wish list items as they possibly can. So one of the cool things about participating in a fundraiser for Transanta itself is that you are in effect buying wish list items for the people whose wishes like didn't happen. I have no idea how many people that encompasses. I don't know how many people participate. It's like thousands, I think. But the ones who didn't get picked will still hopefully get something because of the donations to Transanta itself. Wonderful. And then also it helps with whatever money they have left over from that goes to their operating costs throughout the year to keep things set up, get things rolling for next year. Next year. Next year? Do I have to worry about next year?
And my shoulder just tensed up.
I know. I have a Lupercalia Google document open in a tab in my... Let's not talk about that right now. This is about...
good to know what you told me.
Yes.
That I asked you to tell me.
Informative. So we have, in the past couple of years, we've done a standalone fragrance that was a fundraiser. I really wanted to expand this year and do 3 because just like a broader range, maybe more people will be enticed into helping out if there's like, it's just more likely. Yeah, you have options. You have 3 options. And to be honest, more than 3 options is usually kind of a problem, I think, from a psychological perspective.
Yeah,
so
3 is good.
3 will do ya. So
3
we've got...
One of them's going to be like, yeah, you know.
My problem, and I know this is shocking, is that I loved all 3 of them. So if I was in a shopping crisis, the options here would not make it easy for me. I have sniffed these, but let's just dip into them and test them. For the people at home who have only encountered this as a description on a website. So now you watched some stranger on the internet smell it and hopefully, honestly, credibly describe it to you. Does that sound like a deal? The way this video is framed, like my little capelet is just like, can I like scoot this down? I just want to, I want people to,
See the capelet?
like, is that so much to ask?
But then what about your fast?
I know. I'm too big. I'm too, whenever someone asks why I'm not famous, which I think is a kind of a weirdly backhanded thing to say to someone, but people have said that to me. I'll just tell them I'm too big. I'm definitely.
Next time, just be like, "What are you, an agent? Do you want to sign me?
What are you gonna do for me?
Do you know an agent?
No one can help me. That's what I'll say. I'm sorry, no one can help me.
No one can help me.
So,
Too tall to be famous.
I
Thank
am
you
too
so
big,
much.
and just
Too
like
big, sorry.
in all the ways. We're gonna start alphabetically with Midnight Marzipan, marking it at 11 minutes. Forgot to put myself in Do Not Disturb mode. Please, nobody call me on the phone. Is it possible for me to do that now from my phone? Pause that screen. Is it too late? It's fine. We'll.
No one's gonna call.
Oh my God! Someone is blowing up my phone right now. I blew it. Midnight Marzipan, marking it at 11 minutes and 30 seconds for my timestamps. So I've got. The fragrance is, it says, did I smear it when I was pawing at the screen? A Winter Solstice gourmand, a ground almond snowpack glistening under a chilly scattering of sugar-bright stars standing out against a night sky of the darkest cacao. So you got your kind of like dark chocolate covered marzipan thing going on here, but it's also weirdly a sort of like landscape, a nighttime midwinter landscape. I like to fantasize about beautiful winter locales from my perch in Southern California with car alarms going off in the background. This is very relaxing. I should have smelled this before we started. Yeah. Galen's in the snow globe. You know those, what's funny is,
Drifting away. Oh, this is so nice.
because I'm a thrift store shopper, by the time I see a snow globe for sale somewhere, it is usually like 2/3 full and the water is brackish. It's like,
yeah,
not good.
and
but
also like mostly like evaporated somehow.
yeah, or like just like piss.
Crust?
Yeah.
Piss crust.
There's and yet I wouldn't know what to do with a new snow globe if I found one. So
I think you just put it
do
on a
people
shelf.
like those still? Are people into that? Well, this is like a scent that heralds back to that bygone time when there were new snow globes and people liked it.
Yeah.
It's like a snow globe seen in the dark, which is to say, perhaps not seen. But in the bottle, so I am getting two things at once here. A very like gentle yet strong almond note, right? Galloping out of the bottle, which is how I think a marzipan scent should be.
I agree.
There is also an interesting snow note
Yes.
that reminds me of TK Snow or some of the other snow blend, the Snow White
Snow White, yeah.
There is a snow. It's like a metaphorical marzipan snow made shockingly literal.
Mm-hmm.
Through the magic of alchemy and sheer force of will. And then it's not super chocolatey in the bottle, except for the cacao note usually is not super chocolatey. It is that like dark, polished,
Yes.
gleaming, nutty, rich cacao.
There's a sense of an abyss.
Thank you. An intergalactic yawning. You know, just like the sky is too big.
It feels vast. It feels vast in this bottle.
Yeah. Oh, and I just touched it to the tip of my nose. So something I don't recommend doing with the abyss. Do not boop the abyss if you can help it. For if you do, the abyss shall boop back.
Oh. Can we get that on a t-shirt? Or a bumper sticker? Do not boop the abyss.
Do not boop
Look at
the
that
abyss.
cacao.
Oh, wow. You got some sediment.
I got cacao sediment.
Show the good people. You've been besmirched.
Let's see if I can.
Yeah, there you go. So with
Ooh.
some of the cacao scents, there, I mean, because we make perfumes with actual ingredient. Oh my God, I like held it up to the light and you can't even see through the oil. There is a lot of cacao in this. Fascinating. Yeah, so there will be some sediment in the bottle most likely. Don't panic, don't be alarmed. It's just a thing that happens when things are made out of real things.
Yeah.
So I know
Nothing to
that
fear.
you might not encounter that very often in the year 2024, but some people are still just making, you know, real juice from the actual fruit, as it were. On the skin, this opens up beautifully, and as much as it's supposed to be a gourmand, um, something about the
It's not
snow,
quite.
it
Yeah.
it has it's it first of all, it's beautifully warm.
Yeah.
It feels like a warm enveloping darkness instead of like a horrible cold one. It's like that feeling, you know, before you freeze to death. Before you die in a snowbank, you experience the bliss of midnight marzipan. It has like a kind of a wonderful, rich darkness that reminds me. We did a fragrance called Night in 2020 that was
Yeah, cacao heavy, right?
it was like a cacao and like cactus flower and
Mm-hmm.
something. This is doesn't really
Let me
smell the
smell
same
it on
except
you.
for I do recognize there's that like comforting cacao thing that's not like I have eaten myself to sleep. But it is more like I am surrounded by pleasant reminders of like that which is comforting.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Less like you wake up with a chocolate wrapper stuck to your face. My sister Kelly once, when we were living together, and this is like 20 years ago, so she can't get mad, but she got stoned and fell asleep eating a chocolate bar in her bed, and she has an electric blanket, and she woke up and had completely rolled around in it all night. And of course, her first instinct, as anyone waking up to that sight, would be like, oh my God, I have fouled myself. And she had, but not to like a, you
Not
know,
in that way, not in a bodily way.
it,
She had just fouled herself, like her spirit.
yes. She woke up to a spiritual befoulment that was
Yeah.
fortunately more severe than the actual befoulment that had fallen upon her. But anyway, that lovely anecdote is an example of what this fragrance does not provide.
What I like about this, especially when it hits the skin, because like in the bottle, the almond really pops a lot more, but when it gets on the skin, everything kind of levels out. It's not super almondy. It's not super like cacao-ish. It's sort of just
It's smooth and
it's
creamy.
smooth, and then you have this weird kind of twinkle from the snow, but not like yeah, it's a distinct kind of snow note. It's not like the evergreen or the minty kind of thing. There's just like this sort of celestial chill.
I saw someone in the bpal.org web forum, pushes up imaginary glasses, say in their review, which is a thing that people post at the bpal.org web forum, that it was like, it reminded them, it had like a skin note, like it smelled like a,
Yeah,
and it is like that.
worked.
It is
Yeah,
just like
I think
this,
that.
it is like a warm, living body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not in a, I don't know, it's just like, a beautiful presence. It's also remarkably gender fluid. Like there's nothing here that sets this out. I mean, it has a lovely um like this smells so good that it has to be a fragrance, right?
Yes, there is a fragrance quality.
It
Yeah.
smells like a fragrance, but it's just like beautiful and delicate and rich, and I just feel like anyone could wear it.
Yes.
So
Anyone
very
could
well
wear
done.
it, and anyone would be like just amping it incredibly.
Right.
I think.
But it's not so gourmand that they're gonna try to like eat your face.
No, or be like, did you bring croissants to work? And you're like, no, it's my perfume.
No, I mean I
It doesn't
did,
smell
but
like
that's my
croissants,
perfume.
but
I
I'm just
did,
like-
but they're savory croissants. It's my perfume. Raises money for Transanta, and then you can tell them the whole spiel, or you can send them this video, especially if it's your last day, because you will definitely be getting fired after that. The next one is I got Galen.
Definitely send the video. Actually, send the video in a mass work email.
Send everyone this video.
Yeah.
Send the link right now to people everywhere before we're even done. Be
Mhm.
like, you have got to see this. Start
Need
from
to
the
know.
beginning. So the next one, two out of three, is strawberry bonbon. That is the official name for those pesky little strawberry candies that turn up everywhere. No one knows where they come from. Apparently, this is kind of like, I did some research on this. It's like a public domain candy, like someone invented it, but like everyone has been making it.
I'm pretty sure they've been here
It's in
since
the
like
little
the
wrapper.
dinosaurs.
It's got the hard shell. It's got the kind of chewy strawberry center.
Yeah.
You know, they're cheerful. Some of them are foily in the wrapper. Some of them are like very confidently matte.
No one knows where they came from. They just appeared on Earth.
In a meteor. Well, this one is, the scent is inspired by a particular strawberry bonbon that I saw in a traffic intersection that had been ground to a powder amidst like a huge pile of crushed safety glass in the intersection. And I thought, if that isn't representative of what young queer and trans people are facing during the holidays, I don't know what is. But also I know that many people have a deep and abiding love for these candies. So
And broken glass.
and let's go. I mean, fortunately, since you're not going to consume this anyway, it doesn't matter if there's broken glass on the label. As far as I'm concerned, that's just great advertising for the description, which says, a hard candy for hard times, bright sticky berry with an extra crystalline sparkle and just a pinch of grit. You know, so it's in there. But what does that mean? And like, how much are we talking? And will anyone be able to see
I love a grit pinch.
Especially during a strawberry fragrance. Like, I feel like this is what I wore it for. I feel like I should practically pull it up over my head so people can see what I got going on. So you ready for this?
I'm very ready. I'm really very ready.
Well, if you ordered a strawberry candy fragrance, then when you get this in the mail, within 2 to 5 years, depending on how the combination of Christmas backlog and the privatization of the U.S. Postal Service, you will not be disappointed, because right out of the bottle, this is a strawberry
Undeniably
candy.
strawberry, yeah. Oh, but yeah.
Strawberries are
candy.
red.
It's
from Tuong Fu.
I'm floating away again.
Red and wild. There's your theme. Yeah, that's just like, I'm not getting, there is a kind of again, like a chill to this that I would not expect to a strawberry candy, which I think is maybe where we're talking about the crystalline sparkle. Like there might be some kind of a glittery cast over it that I think represents that part of it. But like, truly, this is the smell of, it's like a syrup, like a lovely syrupy strawberry.
Yes.
Like, you know when there's like strawberry sundae topping that's like the fruit, but then there's like the strawberry sundae topping that's just like the red gel?
Yes.
It's that. That's it.
I love the red gel.
The red gel. Long live the red gel. There's not enough red gel in life. Everyone deserves a little more red gel than they're currently getting.
I agree.
Oh.
I agree.
I'm just gonna get this on the skin. So, I have found, we have done fragrances over the years that smell like strawberry, the fruit. And then there's like strawberry, the flavor.
Yeah.
And they shake hands, but
they know each other.
They're allies, but they're not the same.
Right.
And I, in the past, have a hard time. I know what a real strawberry tastes like and smells like. But in terms of the labs, like strawberry notes, I can't always tell what I'm smelling. There's something really nice about it being a dedicated strawberry candy, because I don't even have to search for the fresh berry. This is like that. It's like strawberry soda syrup.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like effervescent, but it has a bit of, again, that sugar sparkle.
There is a sparkle.
Like the light passing through the red gel. You know what I mean? Like it's just got kind of a, there's a twinkle there. So in terms of like whether or not this was like a super gritty like asphalt note, I'm not getting it. Beth was merciful and spared us all. I know some people might have loved that. We kind of did that in the past. We did the Hard Luck Lollipop last winter for Transanta, which was a gritty lollipop scent that had, I think, a little more of the petrichor pavement situation going on.
There's something in here. I am understanding a grit. There's something beyond the candy splendor.
It's a streetwise strawberry candy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey, mister, talking tough from the curb, sassing you, commenting on your outfit. Sometimes they'll be like, I like your outfit. And you're like, oh, thanks. And you don't know if they were
Thanks.
serious
Was
or
that
not.
a threat?
Right.
Are you mocking me?
The kid's got to be tough, you know. The kid's got to be tough to make it
Like
out
when
there.
those children at the school, we walked by a school not too long ago, and the kids in the playground just went, "You look like a clown."
Yes.
But not necessarily in an insulting way.
Well, you got mad. You were defensive on my behalf, but I was like, Galen, I am wearing striped pants.
You did kind
And
of
like,
look like a clown.
I literally looked like a clown.
It felt like maybe they were trying to, like they thought they were being so cool and so like, oh, you look like a clown, but and then it was, you would just like turned around and waved, and they were kind of like,
and then
I
one
don't
of
know what
them
to do.
followed up and goes, I like your outfit, as
Right.
if maybe afraid that the first part sounded too mean.
yeah.
I feel like if you look like a clown, you know it. I know
right.
it.
I did leave the house.
I think
in
that's
this.
kind of the difference between a clown and a buffoon. Like a clown is participating in a tradition of clownery, but a buffoon is just afflicted with buffoonery. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So whether I was dressed like a buffoon is a completely subjective question, but I was literally objectively dressed like a clown.
You were.
And that was not an accident.
I think I would be so destroyed if a child said I was dressed like a buffoon.
A buffoon.
And I would be like, you don't know anything.
You don't know. Well, what's funny about that, though, is the child was literally at school. So it's like, you don't know anything. And it's like, yeah, and that's why I'm at school, asshole.
I am learning.
I am, like, literally trying. Anyway, hey.
I really want one of these candies right now.
I've been meaning to go. I don't know where to get them,
Where,
like, to
I
buy
know,
them.
Like, you'd think they would be everywhere.
Like, maybe I could go to the bus station, or I could go to, like, a podiatrist office and to the receptionist area and see if there's, like, a dish on the counter. Maybe a chiropractor would have some.
Yeah, like, do these just appear? Do people buy them?
I have to say that as I wear this, so before Full Blast, it was more one note. It is getting brighter and mellower on the skin, and that is a wonderful thing for pretty much any fragrance to do.
Yeah.
And there's
the
just
strawberry
something
goo bombast.
It's getting warmer and cozier as I wear it, and I just know that the people who bought this fragrance will not be mad about that.
No.
Because it's like a perfume oil and not some terrible one note synthesized like petrochemical nightmare gack juice that you got at like the CVS fragrance aisle. It will divulge mysteries to you and, you know, bond with your skin in a loving way and not like poison you. So we can give you that much. We can't do it all, but we can give you that much.
Are you going to move on, or do you smell the grit component? Does it settle?
Sounds like a personal problem.
There's an atmosphere. There's an atmosphere in it. That's what I'm kind of picking up.
It's grittier on you than it is on me. Do you think it's because you've spent more time in Philadelphia?
Yes. My skin is...
Give me that beautiful arm.
It's... right.
I just like sniff the whole arm.
You just smell like skin.
I mean, it just has... and it's one of those things that Beth does so well where there's a bit of a synesthesia element with the photograph of the squished candy on the pavement. But for me, it really... on my skin, I'm just getting a warmer experience, I think. You're amping grit. Some of us amp grit. It's because you were born of grit, and to grit you will return. So before we go on, I thought it might be interesting to go look at some of the Transanta wish lists and read them. I could find some short ones and read them just as an example in case people haven't done that yet. And you just like would know things, right? There's so many. It's hard to know where to begin. Okay. This one says, Dear Transantas, it's my favorite time of year. Once a year, I get to feel like it's okay to be me, just a regular guy, not a choice or a mistake or an embarrassment. I'm 19 now. I'm crying.
I know.
Surely I get to choose my own family. I choose you. Thanks for loving kids like me. Chance. And there's not stuff included. Like sometimes they name it more specifically what they're asking for. So it's not included here, but there's just like further notes in the actual post, not just the image. All right. Maybe this was a mistake.
Right. Like,
Here's
barely
one.
even got a sentence in
I
before I could hear
know.
your voice crack.
I know.
I get it.
Some of them are like rougher than others. I
Yeah.
mean, they have like a content warning on the posting because some of them do include descriptions of abuse, etc. Hi, I'm Brandy, a 19-year-old trans woman. Recently, I was disowned by my mom, and now I'm living with my partner. We've been struggling to get by, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to get all of my stuff from my mom's either. I would love to have some comfort items and essentials to help out. I love electronics and Bluey. That's funny. Bluey is a show. You might, some people,
I know what Bluey is.
Galen, you might be too old to know what Bluey is.
I am, but except for the fact that Bluey is everywhere.
I know.
And I have watched it at your sister's house.
I know. And if I'd known, I would have read the entire thing in a Bluey accent. Actually, I don't think I could have done that.
Bluey.
Anyway, those are just a couple of examples. It's a real ride to read these. There's just so many different, people. This is why I think it's so great that the registries are there, because you can just specifically, like, help one person specifically. Or you can just go on a spree and just pick things at random and just know that it will be far from a waste of time or money. So let's smell the last one in this series so I can, dry my eyes. Ironically, this is the one that is crying. It is the Vintage Snow Clown Blow Mold. Now, the blow molds, this is a series we've been doing. I think we introduced it for Halloween a couple of years ago, inspired by the large plastic shell blow mold yard decorations of yesteryear. They still make them, but everyone seems to have moved on to inflatables, except us.
Oy.
We're doing vintage blow molds, and Beth has had a wonderful way of making the fragrances where it's like inspired by the subject of the blow mold decoration, but then each of these description says illuminated from within by 40 watts of amber. So it's like, you get a bit of the kind of like the plasticky note or the glow of the light. It's just like a kind of a lovely, I think, way to make, a fragrance inspired by the way it feels to look at these decorations. So cool. So this is a rare, people have gotten very into the spirit of this, and over the past couple of years have sent us endless like recommendations of this, that. Maybe we will get around to doing more blow molds, but if there was going to be one this year, I wanted it in the Transanta thing so that people had to participate in the fundraiser to get their blow mold fix. And we had seen this vintage snow clown at a flea market, and I had just never seen one quite like it before. So it's a rarity, collectible vintage snow clown blow mold perfume oil by Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. So many words. The scent is, it says, chase away the sads with a sip from a cheery snowglobe. There's that word again.
I'm not going to sip out of it.
Don't know what that is. A cheery snowglobe filled with slushy grenadine and lemon lime soda, topped with a maraschino cherry and illuminated from within by 40 watts of glowing amber. It's like Shirley Temple. So you can see how the color story of the fragrance notes kind of matches to the snow clowns wearing like a green patchy jacket and a yellow scarf and a red hat.
Red makeup accent.
Yes. Lovely, beautiful blue sad eyes. Like me. But you're dealing with a frozen grenadine slush with an electric amber. So what have you got to lose? Get in there. Nothing. Just smell it. This is like, this is like my favorite out of the three.
It's so good. As someone who was raised on Shirley Temples,
That makes a lot of sense
I'm
about
just
you.
like, I know. Um,
You probably asked for one at Starbucks.
I love a Shirley Temple perfume.
Solidarity with striking Starbucks workers. This is one that I did not know how it could possibly smell. And so I was really excited. It has a frozen note
It does. Yeah.
right in the bottle. I want to say it might be slightly evergreen or minty.
It's not like the, like the TK Snow.
I would guess
Snow
juniper,
White.
possibly, but it's not super strong. It's a beautiful chili pomegranate with like a bit of like a spruced up with something a bit frozen. And
Pomegranate?
is that what I said? That's what grenadine is.
Grenadine is pomegranate?
Grenadine is a pomegranate syrup.
I did not know that.
Pomegranate grenadine.
Whoa. I have to lay down.
Galen's out. We broke Galen, everyone.
I had no clue.
You didn't even know what you were smelling this whole time.
Oh, I feel sick.
Fortunately, it's something you like.
Not because I don't like
At least I'm not like,
I just had
you didn't know grenadine is dog barf.
I'm 36. How
Yeah.
did I make it this far?
I know. Well, that's what,
Grenadine is dog barf. Ah, crap.
Just
Okay.
don't Google, the carmine red food coloring.
Oof.
So what I love about this is it's like a really robustly drinkable fruit. Again, we're in fruit syrup mode, which I
so
love. There's something about, I think the combination of the amber and whatever is freezing it. I was telling you this the other day. You know that feeling when you're drinking like a giant like Sonic cherry limeade or whatever, but something is like you can smell the styrofoam cup. The
Right.
coldness of the air inside the styrofoam cup full
Mhm.
of your like sugar slush.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the way that the blow mold amber situation is happening. Because instead of reading plasticky to me like some of these have on purpose, this one reads like I am drinking out of some kind of big plastic or foam container.
Yeah.
It's
a weird
so
kind of
beautiful.
unnatural component amongst the
I feel
digestible components.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like 9 years old again smelling this. You know, when you were like, okay, because nowadays, what I think is funny is now I would never order like a giant drink, really. I just like, I have an adult digestive system and I have an adult brain, and that's enough to barriers to that. But when I was a kid, it would be the kind of thing where you get the biggest drink imaginable and then you spend like, 2 hours working on it. And so it really just like, there's like that kind of like, I got the childish excitement of getting to go as deep with this as I want without, crashing my kidneys. It's just beautiful. It's just frozen enough. It's like wonderfully fruity. It has like it's like artificial in a kind of a good-natured way and not
really gorgeous amber.
Not in a gack juice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That amber is so beautiful.
It's like it's a bright and shiny amber, but it's also like a kind of a paler, drier amber. Fascinating. It has overall, it's kind of funny because it is like a little bit jolly, but a little bit cold. Like me. I'm going to be wearing this one a lot. I'm going to wear it in the summer when it's hot outside. I'm going to wear it when I'm sad because I want a perfume with a sad snowman on it to make me feel like I also have, like it's like sympathy in a bottle. So beautiful. It's just what a great trio of scents too, because I really think that they encapsulate a kind of like a darkness or like a difficulty or a sadness, but also present something as a solution in terms of like warmth.
Yeah, there's
and
a triumph.
Comfort and sweetness and yeah. I don't know. I'm really proud of Beth as a perfumer for such like a really interesting original array of like surprisingly accurate smells. So that's Transanta.com.
That amber is so good. Before we move on to the Wooden Village, I have to say something about yard decorations, which was the other day when I was walking disco.
Galen has the floor.
I can't remember what house this was at, what part of the neighborhood, but there was someone's yard decorated, and it was 2 collapsed inflatables on on both sides of a a different kind of structured Charlie Brown character who was smiling kind of proudly like he had killed the inflatables. And I was like,
You
"Oh,
can
I should have taken a picture of that." And if I ever see it again, I'm going to.
you didn't get it yet.
I didn't get it yet. I couldn't find it this morning.
You're a good man,
But
Charlie Brown, but you can push even a good
there
man
was
too
just
far.
something about it where I was like, "This looks kind of brutal." Something about the collapsed inflatables in the morning.
That's one of the reasons I like the inflatables, is
It's
because
so
you get to
dark.
see the reindeer just like mashed flat, you know? And I'm like, I know by evening you're going to be standing there proudly, probably playing some like insipid little song. But right now you look like so hungover or just devastated, and it's just like that. It's campy, is what it is.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
a Santa
There's a campiness
one
to
that's
it.
just like completely face planted
Yeah.
in a nearby house.
Oh, I went to take a picture this morning of one. It's like a whole nest of them, and they're all like, you can't even tell. It's like a mash of like 4 different
It's kind of
entities in a big
horrifying.
chewing gum wad of inflatable.
Yeah,
So
there's like a Grinch one hanging from the roof, and it just looked really morbid. I was like, sometimes they really startle me. Anyway, let's go on to the wooden
wait till
village.
you see how
Can't
Disco
wait.
reacts to them. Yeah. Okay. So then, next up in the second leg of this video, we're at 40 minutes in. We'll try to be brisk, at least informative. We're moving on to carved wooden holiday village. Visual aids, prop comedy. What this is it's a series inspired by the holiday decorations of all the little like carved wooden buildings and stuff that create like a sweet little town that may, if you're a particular person, remind you of where you grew up, but for most people is just like an idyllic fantasy. I like occasionally, having lived in the Northeast and gotten to travel around a bit, stumbling into like towns and areas where it's just like, oh, this is what all that shit is about.
Mm-hmm.
This is what all that Christmas shit is about. Got it. So this is the 3rd year we've done it. And we started, like, it's a combination of different, like, I think the first year we had, like, carved wooden bookstore, but also, like, carved wooden abattoir, like a slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, like, it's, like, some of them are vaguely disquieting. It's just kind of funny. We could just literally make this village whatever we want, just like real life. So this year, we have 4 additions. I was hoping that I could get all of the perfumes from the past 3 years of the Carved Wooden Village and put them all together and take a picture that's like the BPAL Carved Wooden Village, only to discover that our stash is missing like literally all of the 2022 ones, 2 of last year's. So it's like, I can't do it. Hopefully someone else will do it if you have them all. But what we can do is smell these 4.
This village has changed.
The village is changing with time.
Barely recognize it.
I thought about that. I thought it would be really funny because I don't know how many years in a row we'll keep this up. I can't tell how much people actually care. I love these scents. Like basically, it's kind of an excuse to do a woody scent family like sub-series. So all of them are variations on different kinds of wood, and then also with the nods to like the location and the function of the place, the locale. So what a fun idea, but we'll see how far we go. But it would be really funny next year to be like, this year the carved wooden village is getting gentrified, you know, and you've got like carved wooden no Wi-Fi coffee shop or whatever. So carved wooden indie clothing boutique with a sidewalk rack of dresses that all look really cute, but there's nothing cheaper than $175, which is a real thing in our neighborhood.
And they're all size extra small.
Oh yeah. And they all say as is, but they're still like over $100.
Right.
So we'll start things off with carved wooden bridal shop. I thought this was a great one to include because last year we did a carved wooden bawdy house that was a beautiful brothel scent. And then now this is a carved wooden bridal shop. And I was telling, I think it was Brianna, about the, it reminded me of the character in McCabe and Mrs. Miller, the Robert Altman movie, played by Shelley Duvall, who is like an old west mining town or logging town like wife, but her husband dies suddenly and she ends up just like moving into the brothel because there's literally nowhere else to go,
Mm-hmm.
and then seems to have a pretty good life after that.
Yeah.
So I liked that there was now we have a bridal shop and a bawdy house, so there's like a whole story arc for, you know, our carved wooden villagers. I opened this in a tab. Okay, carved wooden bridal shop. It says cascades of balsa filigree lace, white kid gloves displayed on cherry wood mannequin hands, and a frilly sachet of dried tea rose. Just kind of like a list of all my favorite things. The balsa wood is like that kind of like the thin wood that they used to make like the little airplanes out of and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What a great, like, you know, in terms of a lace made out of like a light, delicate wood. So, I mean, I smell literally all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's light and fancy, and in the bottle, it's very pale, and the tea rose is a very specific light and fancy rose. It's not super woody in the bottle. It just has a kind of like wood accents, I would say.
Yeah. It feels like lost in time.
Yes. Yes.
Really.
It's truly like a fantasy about
Beautiful.
like the bridal shop for real. Because we all know that if you go into a real bridal, I went to a bridal expo once at was it at the Javits Center? And it was so funny. It was like Bridal Con, and you go in there, and it was so fucking terrifying. It was like maybe like the scariest thing I have ever.
Was it just a bunch of like crazy-eyed brides to be like hunting for ideas?
Less
What is it
that.
about?
What it is it's everyone who sells things to brides.
Yeah.
So like a really expansive idea of what it's like, even if it's not specifically bride related, like wedding related, it's like bride lifestyle stuff. So what I found the day that I went was that it was zillions of very eager vendors preying on the brides,
Mm-hmm.
and then like a scattering of people, like women and their mothers, some grooms and some fathers, but like just kind of like looking around, but like the feral glittering eyes of all the vendors on these people who are
Mhm.
just like trying to sell to them. And it was real. I felt actually it was terrifying on a cultural level, existentially, in terms of like, you know, the death of, you know, late stage capitalism, etc. But like I didn't feel personally at risk. It was kind of freeing because I'm not a bride yet. No one was really, and no one looking at me was like, I want to sell something to that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to kind of observe invisibly,
Mm-hmm.
but it was horrifying. So anyway, that's a long tangent, but the whole, like you said, this is out of time.
Yeah.
This is like, a bridal shop like this may never have really existed.
Right.
I feel like I'm seeing it through a window.
Yeah.
It's like just a beautiful window display, but I can smell the rose from the street.
Like very delicate and like just like you can barely touch it. Like
Yes.
oh.
It has like a beautiful fragility to it. I'm gonna peek ahead because I know that we're not gonna get to talk about this forever, but I noticed when I wore this, as I have been copiously doing, that the wood actually bloomed on the skin and came out to play and hung around longer than I expected. So that was nice because I love that hit of the tea rose. I love tea rose fragrances. I would say now that like it's on the skin, I smell like, I want to say sandalwood or something that reminds me of it.
Yes.
It's
I'm
got
getting
that.
I understand that.
It's got that crumbly incense wood kind of coming up that's like
Mhm.
delicate and a little bit perfumey. But it's just so light and delicate, like sun filtering dust motes, you know,
Mhm.
like on the white gloves in the display. Beautiful.
You're like, is this shop open? Has it ever been open?
Does
How long has it
anyone
been
work here? Like the
closed?
door is unlocked, but does anyone work here?
Is someone back there?
Oh, I mean, you know, she mostly spends most of her time at the brothel, but if you ring up there, she'll come running down and sell you whatever you need. I love the tea rose because it's like almost fruity,
Yeah.
but it's also kind of dry and spicy, and it's just like a lovely, complex, like constrained, like I don't know, it's just delicate. It has a lot to
very
say.
Delicate.
But it's not super bombastic. Just beautiful feminine, but like the wood really kind of gives it some some body.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a frilly sachet.
Right, yeah. It's not. That wood is really nice.
Yes, I mean it is getting woodier on the skin. It's just like oh, it's just so lovely.
Well, so there's balsa wood and cherry wood?
It says balsa wood and cherry wood. And there's cherry wood in the Body House one from last year too, so there is, you know, the continuity of the Shelley Duvall character arc.
It's incredibly beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, not scary at all. Like, I think a bridal shop in general is like a terrifying place because this is where you are making decisions you have to live with for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's not just shopping, is it, ladies? Do you want to go on to the next one?
I do, because I could stay in here in a while.
I know. And I put it right next to the blow mold by accident, and together they are just like incredible. I could just stay here and smell and talk aimlessly forever. But instead, why don't we move on aimlessly to carved wooden livery stable?
Oh boy.
I know folks are curious about this one because it says solid oak planks framing a shelter for saddle leather, dusty straw, alfalfa pellets, apple cores, and a flick of manure.
We went there.
We did it, folks. We said this year is shit, and so shit you shall have. Oh my God. Right?
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Most people, if you've ever been around like a stable in real life, you know, it's like a good smell.
It is in a weird way.
An earthy smell. It's not like a shit smell. It's not like a sewage smell. It's
right.
And the horses are eating like alfalfa and like apples and like grain and stuff. Like the shit is itself, even when fresh, is not as offensive. But when dried, it really just like returns to the earth quite cleanly. And so there is that smell. I mean, it can be bad.
Sure, it can be a little overwhelming sometimes.
Right. I mean, it's funny because like everyone's like, oh, that manure smell is so nice, but like no one loves a horse fart, for example.
Right. Put that on a t-shirt.
You're all about the t-shirts today.
Hello there.
Hello there. So let's get into it, shall we? Because I know people have questions about this.
Okay. I'm scared.
Go for it.
I smelled it, but
get in there.
It is.
You can
so
do it.
Accurate.
Everyone's cheering you on, and some of them are wish they were you, and some of them are glad they're not you. Okay, so in the bottle, I have to say,
oh my God,
with the full strength concentrated perfume oil blend.
I am at the county fair.
I'm
hanging out with my friends who are getting 4-H points
4-H?
in middle school.
I'm so mad you made the 4-H reference before I did.
Sorry.
It's okay, I didn't want to interrupt. There is a 4-H-ness to it.
God,
you
really?
said, when I got this in the mail, you were like, that's horse girl perfume. It is horse girl perfume.
Yes, that's what I was supposed to say.
Yes.
We have a horse girl perfume.
The manure note dominates in the bottle. Which I feel like is important. It's like a rite of passage. Like, you know?
I'm not laughing because it's offensive. I'm laughing because of how fucking accurate it is.
Yes, I'm getting the oakiness.
That I am transported.
Here,
lots of memories.
Squeeze your arm, tap you so you know you're here. You're in your body. I'm getting if I hang out there, I get a little of the dustiness. I get the oakiness, but the manure smell is pervasive.
It is. It sure is.
It's penetrating. So I'm going to get it on the skin. Just get it over with. Just smear it on. I have stories related to my own childhood farm background that just do not belong in a fragrance video. But it makes
you can tell people.
Really fun for me personally. I'm not going to get into that when it's already 54 minutes.
Aye.
So here's the funny thing.
For 54 minutes?
Yes! Yes!
Oh, wow. Okay, this actually went by really quickly.
So, as many have been predicting that the manure fragrance note would be an oud, which I think is a completely fair assessment, and I think is correct. We're dealing with a particularly stanky oud.
And I like that stanky oud.
Well, on the skin immediately, it starts to give more than just the stink.
I'm smelling the alfalfa and the apples.
From the oud itself, though, like you get some of the more like the sparkly, resinous, like complex oud smell.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
very earthy.
if someone is scared of the pood, then they can rest assured that this fragrance marks it as what it is, but I think also serves as a gateway to help understand the allure of it, because through this like particular, as it opens up and it kind of breathes and it is funky but elegant, you know? And then I get that apple note like rising up through it, and the apple and the oud combine to create something quite lovely.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and the, what did it say? The saddle leather. Yes, suddenly I'm getting the leather. I mean, this is how strong it was before, that the leather note was not even really
That
announcing
is what
itself.
I'm also getting with it. The leather and the oud
It's
combine in a certain way together that I found with certain fragrances we've done. I
yeah.
really like the leather and oud together.
Yes, there's like a
Did
lot
not
of
mean to rhyme.
there's a lot of dimension here. There's a lot of texture. It's like multi-chromatic. Like it actually, it's like a, you know, pellet, like an owl pellet that unfolds to show like an entire mouse skeleton inside. You get a whole view of like a place. It's not just the shit, but the shit is part of it. It's beautiful, and like
It really is.
I would have to steel myself to put it on, but once I had it on, I would not be upset and I wouldn't be self-conscious going around wearing it either. Because I don't think once it's the version when it's drying down, I don't think people are gonna smell that and think, oh, that person smells like they rolled in a barnyard, you know? It's complex. It's rich. It's like it smells fancy.
It does.
We're here in at the very cusp of 2025, selling you fancy shit. Only the fanciest shit for our BPAL fans.
Just laughing at, oh, that person smells like they rolled in a barnyard.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't smell like that. But just the idea of someone ever thinking that
Just
someone
like
smelled like that.
Smoky and
It's smoky.
dark and like savory elements,
Dusty.
but like sweet elements because of the apples. Great. Do you have anything to add before we move on? Even to giggle?
I mean, I've giggled so much. It is, if you are wondering if we nailed it, we did. If you want that scent in a bottle, and you know enjoyed time with horses or being in a stable at any point in your life, and you were like, if only this were in a bottle, we have it.
You're like Jennifer Lawrence in the Joy movie right now.
But it really, I'm like, it is so uncanny.
It's also
It's
strong.
so uncanny.
Like, the bridal shop oil is hanging out a little closer to the skin. It's just more insinuating. This one
has space.
Oh, it's claiming space.
Right.
We're holding space for the lyrics.
It's wafting outside of the stable, even, you know.
Okay, so let's move on to carved wooden nativity scene, which is barn adjacent, is it not? Is it not? This says
It is.
I don't feel like I don't have to explain what a nativity scene is to most people.
Well, just in case.
It is the classical depiction of I don't want to say the birth of Jesus, because imagine if that was what the nativity scene was, and it's like Mary actually. They should do that. Anyone who's tempted to do a nativity scene should do like the actual birth, or GTFO. But that's not what a classical nativity scene is.
No.
It is them, like the baby, Jesus, in the center, attended to by parents, assorted wise men, farm animals, none of whom are represented in an olfactory sense. Fangirls, groupies,
yeah.
Star. So it says, smoke trails of frankincense and myrrh threading around an expertly whittled maple wood tableau. That was the Martha Stewart coming out. Expertly whittled maple wood tableau. We're about to crack the hour mark, but I swear we're bringing it on home, folks.
Oh, gorgeous.
This is so nice. The Midnight Mass classic Yule perfume blend that we do, which is like a classic church blend, this, I think, frankincense and myrrh. I don't even know if it's described exactly. There's something about the maple-iness of this that sends it, like that one is too much for me. This is like incensey with a little treat.
Yeah.
You know?
The maple rich and kind of sticky.
It does it. I was saying it smells like a cola almost. Like something about the
Right,
frankincense
you
and the
were,
myrrh and the maple
yeah.
wood, and it's just smoky a little bit. And then there's like a kind of, but it kind of gives it this kind of cola.
Oh my God, that's good.
It's so wonderful. It doesn't read as churchy specifically. The incense is definitely like right there, but there's something about the way it is sweetened up with the maple.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's
Mhm.
not giving gourmand either. It is just very sweet and inviting, but it never goes into like a place where you're like, that is cupcakes, that is pancakes, that is like, what is it? It's just kind of like what it says it is. And I like this because if it was a super religious perfume, I don't think I would enjoy wearing it very much. I would feel like that is false advertising. But there's something about this that really, the sweetness of it takes it back to a kind of an innocent place, which I love. That's like, this is not about like, you know, a religious empire based on, you know, a myth that will be used to enslave and dehumanize people for thousands of years. It's just about like a story, like cardboard cutouts in a story. It's the nativity story writ as small as possible to like, so that it still feels like safe and, you know, non-threatening to children. I was in a church nativity play as a kid. I was a shepherd, and I had a white shepherd frock and a little blue shepherd like situation around the head. I don't even know. You know what it looks like, but they don't know what they're doing at the Sunday school. They're just like gonna put like a blue fabric on you and then like tie a thing around it. And they're like, you're a shepherd.
Every Christmas it's the same. I always end up playing a shepherd.
Yes, I would, but I loved being a shepherd.
I would too, because I like the background characters. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I don't want
Like,
any
oh, I
lines.
don't.
Are you crazy?
What's going on with that person? But also, I like that. I like the mystery.
A shepherd has a job, you know, and your job is to just kind of like take care of the sheep. It sounds like, even as a child, you're like, I could do that.
That sounds nice.
It sounds pretty nice.
I get to wear this like lovely little
and I don't have to learn any lines. What I like about this scent also, having worn it a bit, it smells the same in the bottle as it does in the skin, as it will an hour from now.
Yeah.
So it does not transform in any way. Like the bridal shop one is like the rose is drying off, and I'm left with more of like the balsa and like the, you know.
Oh God, that's so nice.
This one is just like incense, smoke, and cola for as long as it lasts. On me.
No, it really does smell like cola.
A smoked cola.
Yeah.
It's like a smoked cola.
Like if someone made incense out of cola.
Or you're like vaping, you know, Coke Zero.
Whoa, that sounds very dangerous.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Vulnerable people watching this video.
But I guess if you're gonna vape Coca-Cola, I guess you should vape Coke Zero.
The nice gays in my video told me to buy poop perfume and vape soft drinks.
So that's what I'm doing with
We're
my
like, Your Honor.
2025.
And in court, when I'm defending myself, I promise to dress exactly like this so that they know that I'm completely a buffoon.
Right.
I claimed in the video I was a clown, but in court, I think it will be obvious what I really am.
I was dressed as a clown. I am a buffoon.
Your Honor.
There's a difference.
So let's do this last little thing, which is carved wooden saloon.
Wrap it up with a drink.
Sleeper hit for me because I did not expect to love this. A slug of whiskey in a cedar shot glass and a chaw of green tobacco aimed at a polished ironwood spittoon. It's like, yes, the saloon is for men. You got your whiskey, you got your wood, you got your tobacco. It's like everything that all of the male fragrances are these days. It's just like...
Yeah, John Wayne.
12 in 1, you know, stone, whiskey, rainforest, tobacco, you know, man cave, whatever. I'll be over here in my she shed or my them yurt or whatever. What do the thems have?
Them yurt.
What structure do we have?
I like a yurt.
The cleverest non-binary isolation structure in the comments gets a trophy emoji. So have at it. If you even understand what I'm talking about. And if you don't, that's fine too. What's important is that we smell this perfume and end the video as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
What say ye? Did I? Yeah, I have like...
What?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
What, were you having a
I
a
have
fear?
manure on my fingers. I'm going to do it from the
Aw.
other hand. Here. I was like, this smells like shit. No, that's just my body. Okay.
Okay, whiskey. Woody whiskey.
It's like I'm
Cedar
getting
whiskey.
the cedar. It reminds me of Tombstone, but it has like the sarsaparilla aspect of Tombstone is up here, and this is like lower. And there is something beautifully green about it. I had no idea what green tobacco could even mean, but there is undeniably a green tobacco in this fragrance. It has an amazing kind of like wonderful, expansive, like woody green beauty to it that is not like a ruggedly masculine, like Old West fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a public space and it's for everyone. I'm gonna want more of this.
Oh.
It's a deliciously sharp cedar, and but it doesn't go so sharp because you have the green tobacco and the whiskey to just kind of mellow it and make it more congenial. The cedar by itself, the sharpness of cedar is wonderful, but it can smell kind of like Spartan.
Oh, it's very cedary on the skin on me.
Yeah.
I love that cedar. It's very dry.
Go
Very,
back
very,
in and
very dry.
Go back in and look for that tobacco. Have you accessed it? It's like a Where's Waldo.
Have you accessed? Give me a second.
No, I know. I'm just excited. I'm just excited.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I don't know how tobacco works. I don't know anything about how it's harvested or what makes it ready to chaw. I'm sorry. Can I just tell you while you're smelling an anecdote, which is that when I was a freshman in high school, a boy in my class swallowed his chewing tobacco accidentally and immediately ran to the back of the classroom to throw up in the giant trash can, but missed the trash can and threw up instead on the pile of book reports that we had all just turned in 5 minutes ago, thereby becoming a hero, a local hero, because the teacher, who was a complete jerk, but like, I wouldn't wish this on anyone, threw the pile away and basically was like, everyone please just tell me what your book report was. Come up to me one by one, what your book report was and what grade you think you deserve on it. We all got a free A on the book report because I will not say his name in real life, but because he threw up on all the book reports because he swallowed his chewing tobacco.
That is disgusting. Did the room ever smell the same way?
I mean, it was fine. Those rooms like already smell.
Yeah, but did it?
It was fine.
That's so gross
I
and
know.
incredible.
Yeah.
Oh God. You should not be chewing tobacco in high school.
My friend Angela had not turned in her book report and went back there and confidently lied and was like this. And then he was like, I think that he might have even noticed, he kind of had known because he gathered the book reports. He's like, are you sure you did this? And she was like, bold-faced lie. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah. Like, what are you going to go rummage in the, like,
it's in there,
puke?
but it's definitely on the top
right
with the most puke on it.
Some really, really benefited from this, so.
That is great for her, and I love that. What a gross story.
So let's check back in on our carved wooden saloon, shall we? Thoughts, impressions, lingering.
Okay, I do get the chawiness of the tobacco.
Tobacco can have that like wonderfully rich kind of sticky mellowness that is not edible, as we know thanks to our folk hero.
God.
But it kind of like, it has a sweetness that is
Yeah.
really useful with the cedar because it kind of like does what the vanilla and Tombstone does, which is kind of unlock some beautiful dimension in the cedar note.
And the whiskey is not too overwhelming. It's not like a super boozy
I would never
fragrance.
have picked this out as a boozy scent. I can detect it.
I think because of the dryness of the whiskey, it does blend with the cedar and the
Mhm.
tobacco. It kind of, you know.
Really beautifully, elegantly refined, woody scent. Like, this is a great scent to smell if you like the idea of like the dude fragrance, but you don't want to smell like a cheap, shitty 12-in-1 dude mass mainstream
Yeah.
marketed product. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It really smells like a place. Like there really is a like I've been here.
It also smells like it's really made with real things. And I it's funny for me to say that now and not with the manure fragrance, which contains no actual manure. But knowing that this is going to have like it has like cedar oil in it,
Mm-hmm.
it smells like authentic to its components in a way that I think is really beautiful. It has like a wonderful, like civilized. It's like a natural smell, um, and yet not like a wild wilderness smell either. It just beautifully smells like it's made of high quality, like real ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
Just wonderful. It's very fancy. It does remind me of the carved wooden barbershop from last year, which I also loved more than I expected to. Just like the elegance of it, it's not afraid to be like sweet and have like all sorts of dimension. I'm excited. I love tobacco scents in general. I love. Well, I have a bottle with that much pumpkin tobacco left in it. Maybe we should do something about that next fall.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we got, folks. That's 7 fragrances in 71 minutes, which is apparently the best we can do, but we haven't talked for a while. So consider this to be 2 videos smooshed into one. I like
It's
to
a very
get
special
the
episode.
frame. Yeah, we'll just condense the 2 videos into one. And also I don't know when we'll be able to film again because of the holiday and such, but you know, you got some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got some stories. You got some sniffies. Isn't that like a
Opinions on yard
isn't
decorations.
Sniffies like a gay dating app? And I'm just
That
not gonna
sounds
say that.
weird.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
that. It's live. The magic of timeout on
Oh,
live.
right.
Thank you so much to those who have sat with us live. You are the people we're talking to while we're waiting for other people to know this even happened. So it means a lot. Thank you for your wonderful comments and all of the. Also, thank you to everyone who has been helping share what they got from the lab recently or give us a bump during the holidays because the holiday sales are when small businesses make like the money that they will need all year.
Mm-hmm.
This is our time. So those of you who have been like shouting us out there as the person who is usually checking the socials media, I see it and I send you blessings from my heart every single time. And with that, we're gonna let you go because we have other stuff to do because it is a busy time of
Mm-hmm.
year for us. And I'm gonna make some cookies today.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, this whole video was just like a cookie reveal video. I just had to get you loosened up with an hour of fragrance reviewing.
Cookies?
Cookies.
Oh my
I'm gonna
god.
make some cookies.
Exciting. Okay.
Okay, so we'll chat at you later. Thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
Merry C word. Christmas.
Oh, I was like, whoa, what?